Hey, what's going on, y'all? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Looking for a big week in the charts this week. We're gonna get started in a couple of minutes. So one of the things last week, we had a really good week. We capitalized on some pretty good trades on gold. Almost capitalized on a trade on G-Chef, but I actually missed the entry. But I think it's gonna come back around and give us another entry, and I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. This is gonna be a big week, you guys. This is NFP week, and for those who don't know what NFP is, it's pretty much non-farm payroll. It happens on the first Friday of every month. And so with that being said, you have high impact news on that particular day. So a lot of times I might not trade, but I encourage new traders to be cautious and not necessarily trade on that particular day, because you know the charts, they move so fast that you can literally blow your account. And I've witnessed instances where you can be in a trade, let's just say you've put your stop loss in profit, and because price will move so fast, it will literally blast through your stop loss, and you will still almost net a negative on that particular trade. So I just caution everybody to be mindful of NFP, which, like I said, happens on the first Friday of the month. So we want to make sure that we're mindful of that. Hey, you guys, I see a couple of people are already starting to get in. Dale Clouds, what's going on? Daryl, hey, how you doing? We're gonna wait probably one more minute and let a couple more people join in, and then we're gonna get started in the charts. Like I said, I'm excited about this week. I'm expecting some really big moves, so we can definitely capitalize on some trades. And you know what? Let's go ahead and get started. So y'all know how we do. I always like to say a word of prayer before we start. Let's go ahead and get into it. Dear Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for this day. We want to thank you for life, health, and strength. Lord, we want to thank you for everyone who is on this live stream today. I want to thank you for their families. I hope everybody is continuing to be safe and healthy. Lord, we also pray that anything said can help someone financially on this channel, on this live stream, and hopefully that everyone here can capitalize and make financial gains this week, and not negatives. We pray that someone learns something this week. And Lord, overall, we love you and praise you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. I'm ready to get in it, y'all. I'm ready to get in it. So before we start, for those who are new, I'd like to thank everybody who joined the Pips Academy this week. One of the things I wanted to notate before we kind of get started is we've started our new Discord channel. That way we can communicate with each other. Okay. So in our Discord channel, I'm just going to run through it really quickly. When you first join our Discord, which those links are in all of our videos now on YouTube. When you join our Discord, it'll put you in the welcome section. From there, you can see some of the rules and things like that. Pretty much, just to give you a high level overview, the rules pretty much just says respect each other. Be mindful of the things that you say. Here we try to treat everybody equal. We try to encourage everybody in their journey. Everybody has different journeys. They're in different parts and things like that. So we just encourage everybody to respect each other overall. We have a few disclaimers to let you know that Forex is risky. We will throw out some occasional trades every now and then, but like I said, you know, we encourage everybody to do their own research. That way you know exactly what you're trading and things like that. We have a meme section. You know, this is just for fun. Everybody can throw different memes in there and things like that. We have our live notifications. Whenever we go live, you guys will know, you'll get a notification here. Whenever we post a new YouTube video, it'll go here as well as the lives as well. In the resources section here is a lot of things that I'll post, as well as you guys. If you guys have anything that you feel like is beneficial and it can benefit the community, hey, by all means, go ahead and post in this channel. As you can see, there's a few things that I posted in here. I know some people don't really know about order blocks. I put this in there, that way you can understand how to mark up order blocks, the different order blocks and things like that. For some of our price action traders, this actually will be a video that I'm actually going to do this month. I have quite a few videos that I'm going to put out this month. One being on price action, because I know there's some new traders out there that don't know exactly how candlesticks work and Japanese candlestick patterns. So I put a price action cheat sheet out there for you guys. I also put the different sessions. You know, you have your New York, Asian, and London sessions. I don't really talk about Sydney, because Sydney and Asian session, they kind of overlap each other so much that I don't even really notate them. And I also put a few pairs that you guys can look at to trade within those different sessions as well. I put the Forex market cycle. You can kind of see the different cycles and times and things like that. But overall, this section here is just for resources, you guys. Any resources that I feel or that you guys feel that can help the community, go ahead and by all means, go ahead and put them in there. All things Wyckoff, exactly what it is. If you have any Wyckoff resources or charts or things like that you want to put in here and share, by all means do it. One of the things that I've noticed, one of our users, Mr. Tan, he's actually really good at Wyckoff. I know he expressed to me that he's still learning, but he got some really dope charts, you guys. So Mr. Tan, he'd be the one that I feel like he will be extremely profitable with regards to marking up Wyckoff and things like that. The general chat, this is for everybody to casually talk, whatever you guys want to talk about, you know what I'm saying? Forex pairs, this will be the area where we'll put potential setups. We might throw out some signals. As you guys can see, last week, G-Chef, this trade right here, I was expecting a bounce up to this area, and that actually happened, and I missed this particular trade. This gold trade right here, this was a trade I was looking for, and this was a trade I actually capitalized on. I think I hit like 107 pips or something like that on this particular trade. But what I'll do, the different trades that I'm looking for, I'll post them here, and I will notate potential setup on gold or G-Chef or whatever we're looking at. Just put some potentials in there, that way we all can kind of look at them. And if you guys have any pairs that you want to see marked up, or you want us to share your trades during our live streams, go ahead and put them in the Forex pair section. We'll be happy to do it. We have a section for indices, fundamental news. Here's where we'll automatically get our news from from Forex Factory. It'll let us know when high impact news will come. So this will actually get fed automatically from Forex Factory. Share your TPs. Like I said, the gold trade that I was looking for was this trade here. No, I'm sorry, that was a different trade on gold, but here's that gold trade here. I was looking for it to hit this target of 1900, and that's exactly what it did. So if you go back to the Forex pair that I posted, you can see that I was targeting 1900 for that particular trade, and so I capitalized on that particular trade. Losses to lessons, when we have any losses, put them in here. That way we can all learn from them and see what you've done wrong, what I've done wrong. We can all learn from them. Any FAQs, crypto, daily scriptures, affirmations. I try to put affirmations in here every day to motivate myself and you guys. And so those are some of the things that we'll do in Discord. And if you guys have any other recommendations for any other channels that you would like to see up in here, hey, we'll do it. You know, this server or this Discord community chat is for all of us, okay? So from there, let's go ahead and jump into the charts, you guys. Let's look at news first. So like I said, this is NFP week. It's gonna be a huge week, and we're gonna see what we can do. Hey Daryl, I I see your message. You said you struggle. You took a couple L's this week. Go ahead and notate what it was that you actually took, which trades that you took an L on, and let's talk about it. That way we can kind of all see exactly what went on, and we can possibly help out to see if we can avoid some of those mistakes next time. Okay. Hey Dale, I was thinking about doing a Telegram as well, but we'll see. The reason why I opted not to do a Telegram is because inside of the Discord we can do more things, we can automate more things, and we can create more channels and segregate it and add different roles and things like that within Discord. So the Telegram is still kind of up in the air. We'll see if we'll do it, but it's not completely out of the water. Okay. So let's jump into it, you guys. So as we can see, we don't have any, high impact news on Sunday or Monday. Sunday usually is a slow day for me anyway. But however, I do want to say last Sunday was huge for a lot of pairs, especially gold. Like gold actually moved a lot last Sunday. I missed a lot of it just because I don't usually trade a lot on Sundays. I usually deem that like family time. So there was a lot of movement on last Sunday. But as you guys can see, there's not a lot of big movement on Sunday and Monday of this week. Well, actually on Monday, you can see we got some high impact news that will be 9 a.m. on Monday. So that's something to look forward to, 9 a.m. Central. So make sure you guys govern that according to your the time zone that you guys are in. We also got some AUD news. So like I said, AUD, it also correlates a bit with gold because Australia being one of the biggest manufacturers of gold and imports with gold, when you have high impact news with AUD, it will affect gold. So just be mindful of that for some of the gold traders as well. Tuesday, you can see we got some USD news at 9 a.m. again. We got some NZD news, and we got some NZD news around 5 p.m. as well. Being that this is NFP week, the big moves are going to start happening possibly starting maybe Wednesday, going into Thursday and Friday. Thursday and Friday will be our biggest moves. As we can see on Wednesday, 7:15, we started getting some of our NFP news, non-farm employment change. So we should see some big moves from Wednesday as well. Another thing I'll start posting right before the news happens. That way we all can be mindful of those news when it comes out as well. As we can see, FOMC, usually whenever we have FOMC in the middle of the day at 1 p.m., there's going to be some big movement. You can guarantee that. I've caught some really good movements during FOMC during these times. But one of the things that I do, I'll wait for that first candle to kind of, if I'm on a 30-minute or something like that, I'll wait for that first candle to kind of, do its thing, wait for the dust to settle before I kind of hop in the charts. Because like I said, if you're not mindful and you're not trading the news smart, you can literally blow your account dealing with high impact news. So I can see 1 and 1:30, we got some really big news on USD for Wednesday. Thursday morning, we got some GBP news, which we're going to see a lot of big movement. USD, we got some 7:30 news on that particular deal. And then moving into Friday, we can see CAD and USD is going to be high impact. That's going to be our non-farm employment change on that particular day as well. Okay. So that's some of the things that we're going to be looking at. If you guys have any pairs, like I said, let's look at the Discord chat for a second. Let's see if you guys have any pairs that you put in there. So no pairs up in there right now. Also, you guys can put them in the chat if you guys want to see something marked up. So let's go ahead and jump into it, you guys. Like I said, I'm excited about this week. I'm expecting some big moves. So let's get into it. All right. So let's start off on EU. So as we're looking at EU, you guys, we can see it's still bearish. So right here we have a high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So basically, one of the things that I want to notate on a weekly perspective, how we can kind of break this thing down into ranges, so to speak. So what we can do, we can notate the week's high and the week's low. Okay, so we'll say this is our weekly high, and this here is our weekly low. Okay, and then from there, one of the things that we see is we have a supply zone here. We have a bearish, bullish, bearish pattern here. So we can notate that as our supply zone, that price can possibly come back and hit this area here. But one of the things also that we want to see is, let's drop down to the daily. So we see that we broke this last low here. So we probably are expecting some sort of pullback. So what we can do, we can utilize our fibs from the swing high and the swing low. And we can look at this area here as our possible area of confluence for price to come and bounce back into. But we see that we had a weekly supply here, but we also have a daily area here as well. So I'm going to mark up this area here that we have a supply zone in this area. Let's go ahead and notate that in yellow. Daily supply. Okay. Oh man. Center inside. Okay. This one here is our weekly supply. Weekly supply. Inside, center. This is a yellow box. Okay, so these are two confluent areas that I'm probably looking for price to come back into this area. Another thing that we probably can look at as well as within these areas, one of the things I want you guys to see, let me actually remove these areas here. So if you guys notice on my fibs, I notated 78.6, 61.8, and 50 all in gold. One of the things that I started doing, I'm actually going to do a video on this as well, is you can kind of condense these things into a zone with just within this particular area here. And for example, let's just say if I wanted to remove my fibs and I just wanted to utilize this zone here, and I can call this my premium zone. Okay, so what we can expect when we get a pullback, because like we said, if I throw my fibs back on here, you guys can see that with this particular zone is right in between these areas here. And so one of the things that we can notate, when you get to this box, that's 50%, which is where we want to be within our fib. So we can possibly look for price to bounce back into this zone somewhere in this area, and then possibly come back down and give us another, possibly breaking this weekly low. So one of the things that we can notate as well from our supply zones that we had was this area here. And I'll actually put this as a light blue just so it don't conflict with my premium zone. And then we can also do this area up here as well. Now this area up here, if it breaks this zone here, then we'll possibly look for this area up here. But if it comes and settles within this area here, we can drop down to the 4 hour, possibly look for other confluences, because as you can see on the 4 hour, we have an imbalance right here. So price actually might get up to this point and wick this area here before it actually starts to go back down. So that's something that we can notate as well. We have an imbalance right up in this area, So we can be mindful of that when price actually comes up to this particular area. And so let's look at current price right now, because we don't want to miss any opportunities. So coming from this area all the way up here, that's about 300 some pips. So those are opportunities that we don't necessarily want to miss. So if we drop it down to the 15 minute, let's look at price action just to see exactly where we are. So as we can see, we had a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and we got a break of structure right here. We literally just got a break of structure in this area right here on the 15 minute, which lets us know we want to see a pullback. Okay, so we use our Fibonacci tool to see exactly what price pulled back to. Oh man. Okay. We can see, so if we use that same method that we did up above and we mark up this area here with just the yellow box, we can almost see that it actually played out in that same format on a bigger time frame. This is our premium zone here that price actually pulled back into. Okay, so price pulled back into this area, and then from there we can drop it down to the 1 minute to look at price action from there. So we can see on the 1 minute time frame, price came into this zone. Let's see, it gave us a break of structure on the 1 minute here. And then price started to give us a break of structure, gave us a pullback in this area, which if we utilize our fibs, we can see it's well within our golden zone on this area as well. Let me make this bigger so you guys can see. So from a 1 minute perspective, it actually did the same thing. It came within our premium zone. So if we marked up a premium zone for the 1 minute in this area here, 1 minute premium zone, we see inside. We can see that price came into this area here and then it started to break up. Okay. And so from there, if we would have caught this, trade, one of the things we could have did was we could have placed an entry right above our premium zone here, stop loss right up under this price action here, or it could have been up under this area here. And then what we could have done is we could have rolled this, where are we? Possibly ride this up to, let me drop down to the 15 minute. Now, if we caught that entry there, we possibly could have rolled it up to this price action here, which is about 64 pips. So we pretty much just ride it up to the next liquidity area or that high in which we had that break of structure on the next time frame. Or if we had a break of structure on the 4 hour, you can ride that up to the 4 hour as well. Okay, so that's one of the things that we could have caught on this particular trade. It looks like we're getting some sort of a pullback maybe again. However, one of the things I want to probably wait for if I do hop back in EU, or if I do decide to hop in EU, is let me go to the 1 hour just to see. So this is our old, okay, they coincide with each other. So I will probably wait on this and wait for it to maybe break this area here. I will wait for it to break this high and then give us another pullback. Because right now it's kind of almost in no man's land, because it's almost like we missed the move already on EU. So I will probably wait until it breaks this area and then give us a pullback, pull out our fibs and kind of look at it from that perspective. But on EU, that's what I have so far on EU. Now, if EU come back into this zone again and give us another possible entry, I'll wait to see if we have another break of structure on the 1 minute, and then wait for some sort of bullish engulfing or something like that to possibly ride it back up. But we can actually be patient on this, so we can set an alert right up in this area, possibly at what is this? I would probably say right around this area here. 1.06 thousand area. EU breaks. I'll just put that number. That way it'll let me know that it's something that we possibly can look at again. Dale, I see you say which imbalances matter and which ones don't. So you want to possibly look at which imbalances, kind of go through multiple time frames. So for example, let's just say if we're on a daily, for example, and let's just say we have an imbalance in this area right here. Okay. Let's just say we had an imbalance in this area right here. This is from the daily time frame. So let's just say we know price has to close this imbalance, but if we drop to the 4 hour, let's see if this same imbalance shows on the 4 hour time frame. So if we drop it to the 4 hour, we can see it still exists on the 4 hour. Let's drop it to the 3 hour. We can see that it's gotten a little bit smaller within its zone, but it's still an imbalance, and so when you have imbalances that can survive different time frames, so to speak, then that's a really, really good imbalance. So a lot of times when I'm looking for pullbacks, let's just say, for example, I'll show you one on a G-Chef, because it was a imbalance, and I'll show you why I missed that trade. There was an imbalance on G-Chef that I didn't see right away, but I'll show you exactly what I mean, and I'll show you how we can find those in the future. Okay. But right now on EU, that's pretty much what I have on EU, you guys. Let's go ahead and move to some other pairs right quick. That's what gets me confused most of the time. I've been catching trades with no more than 10 pip SL. Okay. Yeah, a lot of times I try to focus on a 10 pip SL, but if it's more than that, if I do more than 10 pips, I just make sure I'm mindful of my risk management when I do. I'm mindful of my risk management on all pairs, but I'm really mindful when I have a trade that's over 10 pips. So let's look at GU. Let's look at GU, guys. So on GU, I kind of notated a few areas on the daily. So what I did was I used the Eclipse tool and I marked off some of the lower lows and lower highs on this particular trade. On this particular pair. So if we look on GU, we have a high, a lower low, lower high. Let's see. Wait a second. Lower low, lower high. So this is our last lower low right here. No, that's not our last lower low. Wait a minute. Yeah, it is. Yeah, lower low. No, that's a one candle. That's not okay. But it's possibly a 4 hour pullback. So let's make sure. Yeah, so we'll leave this as our lower high, lower low, lower high, and we got a lower low in this area here. So let's look at our most recent. This is our, okay, we'll look at these two right here. All right, so from a daily perspective, we can look at this as our our daily highs and daily lows. Or we can do this from the weekly perspective as well. But let's utilize the daily on this one, okay? So we can say this is our daily high, our daily swing high. And this is our daily swing low. Okay? And from there, we can look at this as our trading range because we know price has to come back and possibly give us a pullback to give us another lower high. So from that perspective, what we can do, we can pull out our fibs from a daily perspective. We can notate our premium zone right up in this area. Remove our fibs. That way we know price, we want to see if price will come back into this area here and it possibly give us a swing down to the low side, taking out this swing low here. So one of the things that we can notate is that we have a supply zone in this area right here. That price can possibly come up and bounce off of. But however, we see that we have a bullish engulfing here, which is pretty much a break of structure on a lower time frame. So let's break this down. We see on the 4 hour, let's drop it down to the 1 hour. Okay, so look at this, you guys. Now let's actually drop it down to the 15. Let's keep it consistent with the 15 minute. So on the 15 minute, let's see what we have. Lower low. High, lower low, lower high, lower low. Break of structure here on the 15 minute. 15 minute BOS right here. Now, let's see on the 15 minute if we had our pullback. Okay, we haven't quite hit our golden zone yet. So this one can be a nice potential setup for us. Right in this area right here. You know what? Let me go make a template because premium zone. Okay, so we can look at this area right here for price to possibly come back and bounce off of. Now, with looking at that, let's look and see. Let's go back to the 4 hour for a second. And let's look and see what demand zones we have. So we can see we have this bullish, bearish, bullish pattern right here. So we can notate this right here as our demand zone. We can notate this area right here as our demand zone. And so we also see that we have an imbalance right here as well. However, I don't really expect, but it could happen. I don't really expect price to just bounce off of this imbalance and shoot directly up. But let's see if we have anything on a smaller time frame. But it could happen. I'm not saying that it won't. It could happen. And because that's a possibility, I think we should put an alert. I think we should just put an alert right before it gets to our golden zone for this. Because on the hourly time frame, I think I like this one better. I think I like this demand zone better. Just because on the hourly, this is the most recent down move before the up move that actually pushed price up, that actually broke this short-term high here. So I actually like this one better. So we can look at this particular area here for our main POI. But what I'll do, I'll set an alert right in this area here. GU approaching POI. And I'll put these in the Discord as well, you guys. That way we'll have these parameters. But this particular alert right here is at 1.25166. And so we can utilize that right there for this particular trade, because we definitely want to be able to capitalize off of this, knowing that we're kind of looking for, you know, something to come to the upside. You know, we can possibly catch some really good pips, because if we catch it in this area here, let's just say we catch it off this imbalance and we ride it up here, that's 100 pips just up to this swing high area here on the 15-minute. So that'd be really good on GU. So I'm definitely looking for some movement on GU for that perspective. And so I'll definitely be shooting alerts and all of that thing and all of that kind of stuff in the Discord. That way we all can be mindful of that. It was the previous candle's wick to the other candle's wick. The previous candle's wick. Are you talking about on the demand zone? Dale, are you talking about the demand zone? Let me know if that's what you're talking about with that particular question. Oh, you said how did you get that imbalance? Oh, you're talking about this imbalance here? So here's what I do. You are correct. Okay, I know what you're talking about. This entire area here is the imbalance. Yes, this is the imbalance. However, because what I usually do, and I usually put a smaller box here, and I usually put my box, because I don't necessarily want to put a line. Like let's just say this is some of the things that I used to do. I used to put a line right here and say, okay, I need price to come back and hit this line right here for this imbalance and then shoot back up. The reason why I don't do that is because sometimes when price is coming down for this imbalance, sometimes it might not come all the way down. Like it actually might stop somewhere in that area like that. So what I do, I usually just take a small box. I'll put it right above the wick and give myself a little breathing room just for this imbalance. And let's just say if I was trading this imbalance, my entry would be right at the top of this box as opposed to at this wick. But you are correct. This entire area here is the imbalance. But because I'm looking for price to come down here and close this entire gap, I usually will make my box, you know, kind of small like this. That way I can notate if I was trading this particular imbalance to let my entry be a little bit higher. That way, if that closure is short, I'll still be able to catch it. I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Let me go ahead and remove this. Okay. So on GU, that's what we're looking at, you guys. I'm definitely expecting this one to possibly give us that type of move and take us back to the upside. We can definitely catch some really good pips on this one. Let's go to G-Chef. Here's another one, which this is why, and I'll show you, Dale, why I missed the imbalance on this one. And this actually takes me back to what I was just explaining about how it might not come all the way down and close that area. So let's look at G-Chef for a minute, and we're gonna break this one down, because this is another one that I said I missed, but we still can get another opportunity on this particular pair. So let's just say if we're looking at a weekly perspective on this one, we can see that we're still in down structure. We have a high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Okay, So let's go to the daily and kind of look at our high and low points. So let's see, high, lower low. I'm gonna say this is my lower high. The reason why I said this is my lower high and not this one, so if we're looking at this, you guys, let me make this bigger. So the reason why I did not choose this to be my lower high, so check this out. You can see that it clearly, you know, we got a lower low, lower high, and a lower low. But if you look at this next candle, it actually broke this area here, and then it gave an impulse past this area to give us another lower low. Okay, so what I did was low, lower high, lower low, I'm sorry, lower high, lower low, lower high, and then lower low. Okay, that way we're looking at it from a macro perspective and not necessarily looking at all the noise in between. Okay, so from there, if we're looking from daily swings in which we can actually trade, we'll be looking at this for our daily swing high, and this is our daily swing low. So we can look at this as our trading range that we can actually trade within for this particular week. Let's see, daily swing high, daily swing low. Put this on the bottom. Okay. So now, as we can see, we got a bullish engulfing on this particular, before we get into that, let's go ahead and use our fibs, because we know we're getting a pullback at this particular point. But let's utilize our fibs and see that we're in this area right here. For our premium zone, but we can see that we have a supply zone here. I'm going to notate this supply zone as blue. So we have a supply zone in this area right here, and we also have an imbalance. So a lot of times when we have our imbalances like that, that's close to our supply or demand zone, I'll make my supply or demand zone slightly bigger just so it'll cover this area right here for that imbalance. But that's not the area I'm talking about, Dale. I'll show you the area I'm talking about, how price did not come all the way to that imbalance and why I kind of do those boxes. Okay. So one of the things that we're expecting with this is for price to come up in this area, possibly all the way to the 78.6, close this imbalance, and possibly come to the downside. Okay. But if we go down to let's break it down to the 4 hour and kind of look and see what price action gave us down here. As you guys can see with this particular trade, let's notate this being our lows here, and this point here being our high. Okay, so one of the things we can tell with this, we have a double bottom. You know, with a double bottom, you know, price usually comes and break, you know, we're looking for bullish moves. So we can tell that it broke the neckline of this double bottom, which is our W here. Okay, but one of the things I want to show you guys that why I actually missed this trade. So let's check this out. So if we go back to the 4 hour, one of the things that I was looking for in this area, there was an imbalance right here. And I had my imbalance notated right here in this area. And so at the time, I was on the 15-minute trading this, or looking at this particular pair, because I said to myself, okay, let's see, where was it? I said, okay, we had a high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So in this particular area, oh, I did miss it. I'm glad I didn't catch it. I was looking at it slightly wrong. So how I was actually looking at this, and I'm glad I did miss it. Initially, I was looking at this as my break of structure, but this is not the last high because these are equal lows here. This low never broke this low. So this is our last lower high. And so I'm glad that I didn't catch this, because one of the things that I thought was happening was I thought we had a break of structure here, and I thought we had our pullback in this area right here. Because as you can see, it came back for this imbalance right in this area here. There was another imbalance right here. Oh, here we go. So check this out, Dale. This is why I do those boxes, because as you can see in this area here, the imbalance didn't come all the way down to this area, but it hit this box. But I actually missed this particular trade because I think at the time I was looking at gold, and the alert went off, but I was concentrating on gold so much that I didn't actually come back to look at this, and it literally wicked this area and that thing took off. Like, it never gave another pullback. Like, it literally took off. And so, like I said, I'm glad that I did not take this, because I mean, of course I probably would have capitalized because I would have rolled it up to this area. However, it's still due for a pullback because this is the actual break of structure here. So we still have an opportunity to capitalize on this particular pair. This is our 15-minute break of structure. Okay, so that's one of the things that we can notate, and also this correlates with the 4-hour break of structure as well, because if we have a high, lower low, lower high, lower low on the 4-hour, we can notate that as a 15 or a 4-hour break of structure. So basically what it's probably going to do is probably going to come up a little bit more, give us a pullback, and then it probably will maybe continue to the upside. Or what it might do, another thing, if we miss this entry, it might just come up to this area for this break of structure and then kind of shoot down and things like that. So we can be mindful of either direction, because as we can see, it's close to this area here. So we just want to utilize what the market gives us. I don't want to utilize the Fibonacci from this perspective just yet, because we don't know. This is not necessarily the swing high. Price is still moving up. So we want to see exactly what it's going to do. I'm going to put an alert right here as it crosses the 50% area. That way I'll know that it's in that premium zone. GBP Chef approaching POI up. I'll put POI up. And I'll also put one down here as well. That way if price starts to pull back, then that'll give us an opportunity to ride it up to that other area. And then these particular alerts, you guys, I'll put these markups and everything in our Discord with the and I'll notate the different alerts and all of that kind of thing. Actually, while I'm here, I might as well do it now. So this alert here. That way when you guys see the markups, you'll be able to see the alerts as well. Okay, so those are a couple of opportunities that we're looking for with G-Chef. Just wait for the market and see what it gives us. We don't want to rush it or anything like that, so we'll just be patient and see what it do. Let's look at UCAD. So this particular pair, we definitely might have some opportunity on as well. Also, you guys, if you guys have any pairs that you guys want to see marked up as well, go ahead and add them to our Discord, or you can add them to this chat, and I'll be happy to mark them up. As we can see on this particular pair, we're bullish. Let's go to the weekly time frame on this particular pair. As we can see from a weekly perspective, we have a high, higher low, higher high. Wait a minute. Yep, that's correct. Higher high. And we don't have a higher low yet because we need to wait for another break of this area here before we get another higher high. So we can tell that, you know, price is potentially coming up to break this area. And so from that perspective, we'll notate this as our weekly swing high, as opposed to us looking at it from a daily perspective, because it's close to that weekly area. Weekly swing high. And we'll say this is our weekly swing low. Okay, let's drop it down to the daily and see what we have. So from this perspective on a daily, we can see that we're in essence in a sideways trend. So looking at this, I mean, I see Wyckoff, which is present all up through this thing. So one of the things that we can look at from a Wyckoff perspective is this is currently, this possibly could be a redistribution. And what I mean by that is, you know, when you have a distribution, basically what happens in a distribution, price will come up. It'll give you these different parameters. From a distribution perspective, it will drop. And so basically, wait a minute, I think I'm saying that wrong. So distribution happens like this. No, this can possibly be a reaccumulation. I'm sorry. So when you have, let me take this off. You guys. When you have an accumulation, basically price starts from a high point, it breaks down, and then it gives you these points. It gives you a swing, and then price starts to staircase and go up. Okay, and this gives you your accumulation. So if you have a reaccumulation, basically what happens is price will start from the bottom, it'll come up, it'll give these different parameters, and then it'll shoot up as well. It starts from the bottom, it'll accumulate, and then it'll shoot back up. Okay, but not to confuse everybody, we're not gonna mark up Wyckoff within this big range because this is a daily range right now. So what we'll do, we'll just mark it up and keep everything consistent how we've been marking it up. So let's look at this from a 4-hour perspective, because there are definitely some opportunities that I see from a 4-hour perspective. One of the things that I noticed from a 4-hour is, look at some of these things that happen. Low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, break of structure in this area here on the 4-hour. We had a break of structure on the 4-hour. And if you look at this, we had a demand zone in this area right here. And we can see that price came back to this area, which was well within our 50%. We throw our fibs on here, we can see price came back with the 78.6, which is right in this demand zone area right here. and then it actually went up. If we would have been able to catch this, like I said, we could have caught it right in this liquidity high. We could have caught it right to this area right here. And that would have been, you know, some nice pips. That was about 200 something pips that we probably could have caught that. But as we can see currently right now, we had a high. Hold on one second. I see we're having an issue. Hold on one second, you guys. Hey, you guys, let me know if you guys start seeing issues with the stream, because I'm seeing some issues on this side. Okay, look like we're still good. Okay. Okay. All right, cool. Hey, are you guys still seeing the stream? Let me know if you guys can still hear me. Okay, it looked like we're good now. Okay, it resolved itself. Okay, perfect. All right, so, okay, perfect. All right, so, as you guys can see, from a 4-hour perspective, we still have higher structure going on. Okay, and so let's look at these pullbacks. So we see we got a pull back into this area right here that actually hit this demand zone in this area, well within our area. So we can see we're staircasing. So one of the things that we want to see a break of this high right here for UCAD. When price breaks this area here, which we'll just call this our 4-hour high. When price breaks this area, let's put an alert on that. That way we can possibly look for another pullback. But if we're looking at from a weekly perspective, we can see that we're fairly close to our weekly swing high. And so price might actually break this area before we get a pullback from the 4-hour perspective. But we still might get a staircase from a 4-hour, from the 4-hour time frame. So we'll set an alert right here. UCAD breaks 4-hour high. Okay. Let's go ahead and notate this. Okay, and that's on UCAD. Those are some of the things I see on UCAD. One other thing though that I notice is on this particular area we have a bullish engulfing. Let's drop down to the 15-minute to kind of look and see what we have. Okay, so we have an opportunity for a pullback because when you have a bullish engulfing, let's go to the hourly for a second. Okay, it actually did not give us that. However, on the 15-minute perspective, you guys can see that we had a break of structure. So we're due for a pullback. I'm not gonna use those smaller ones. What I'll do, Okay, we had a break of structure in this area right here on the 15-minute. We have not had a pullback within 50%. So we can see though that this has come up to this area. So like I said, I want to see a pullback. Hopefully we can get that pullback right into this area here. And then possibly see a ride to the upside. Possibly something like this to take out this 4-hour high and possibly come up to this area here. Or we can ride it just to this area here, which would give us about 120 something pips if we can get the pullback. And so let's go to an hourly to see if we have any areas. Yeah, so we can utilize this area here as our hourly demand zone. And I'll put an alert right before this premium zone here. USD CAD approaching POI. That way we can know if price gets down to that area, we'll know if price is getting down there and what we need to do. Alert at okay, so that's what we have on USD CAD, you guys. So now let's go ahead and move to gold. This is the one that I'm expecting some big moves on gold, and I'm gonna break this down and let you guys see exactly what I mean by that. So let's look at gold. Let's kind of see some of the patterns and movements and what it's been doing. Okay, so let's just say we can see from a daily perspective. Gold, we got this high right here on gold, which gave us an impulse down to this low right here, which came back into a premium zone. And I say this zone is mitigated because price has already come up here and it's giving us a staircase down. So if I throw our fibs on from this swing high down to this swing low, you will see this is perfectly within our premium zone here. Price came up with this particular supply area right here, right around our 61.8, and then it gave us a drop off to the downside. Okay, so now let's look at this. We're starting to get a pullback here because we can see that we broke the last low, which was our liquidity low. So if we would have actually, from a daily perspective, if we would have caught this here, we could have rolled price down to this area, this liquidity area here, and actually set our TP for that area. So now, if we're looking at this, if we take it from this swing here down to this swing here, we can see this is our next premium zone that we're looking for. Okay, so that's why I have this area notated here. If we drop down to the 4-hour, we can see, look at all of these confluences, you guys. We can see that we had a break of structure on the 4-hour, and then what else do you guys see? An inverted head and shoulders pattern here that's forming right here that'll possibly shoot to the upside. So when we have an inverted head and shoulders, we know that we're looking for bullish movement. However, let's look at this from a 4-hour perspective. We have a demand zone here in this area here. Now I know you guys probably saying, why do I have it so big? Because what I want to do, I want to notate this area here as well as this candle here. So I'm trying to cover these two areas that way, because if you look at that, that's right within the golden zone, or our area in which we're looking for price to bounce off of. Okay, so let's notate this premium zone here. All right, so we can see that price has already wicked our 50%, but I'm kind of expecting price to come down a little bit further before it actually goes up. Now, when we get price to come down here, what is our target that we're looking for this particular trade? I'm looking for a target of this area right here. This is my ultimate target in which I'm looking to take profits. This area here, I'll just say 1920, a whole number. This is the potential target that I'm looking to take right here. The reason why I don't want to sit in, I mean, and you could sit in it possibly all the way up here, but I know with big moves like that, you usually get huge pullbacks and things like that. So for me, this liquidity area, it coincides with how I trade with my trading plan. And so that'll also be another video that I'm going to be doing this month as well, is a video on trading plans, because that's probably one of the biggest things to your success when it comes to trading, is to have a trading plan. You have to have those rules that you're governing yourself by when you're taking your different trades and things like that, entry and exit strategies, all of that kind of thing. What are your confluences that you're looking for? All of those things play into your trading plan. But this is what I'm actually looking for with gold, is for price to actually shoot off this area. One of the things that we might see is we have an imbalance here, and price actually might come down to this area here and wick this imbalance, and then possibly give us a bounce to the upside. Let's just say if we took a buy limit on this area here, that's a huge stop loss though. Like, you would have to take an extremely small lot size up to this area. That's about 400 pips, and you're risking 94, which I don't recommend nobody to risk 94 pips unless you are, that 94 pips is well within your trading risk management. If you can trade 94 pips and only risk 1 to 3%, then yeah, I say by all means take that. That's a good trade right there. You know what I'm saying? 400 pips, that's a trade I feel that's worthy of getting in. But like I said, I don't usually do stop losses like that, and so I'm not gonna do a stop loss that huge. This is what I'm looking for on gold though, you guys. Like I said, I'm gonna put an alert right up in this area here, because gold, this pair is the pair that I'm really looking for big moves, especially this week. Gold approaching POI. Okay, bring it down in this area right here. Gold approaching POI. So that's what I want to see from gold. If it breaks this area, then I know I'll possibly be looking for entry somewhere down in this area here. And yeah, you guys, that's what I'm looking for. Those are some of the moves that I'm looking for this week. I'm only condensing them to 5 pairs. That way we're not over leveraging. But of course, like I said, if you guys have any pairs that you want to see marked up, that you want to get some extra eyes on, let me know. I'm happy to look at them, put them within the Discord. That way we all can kind of collaborate on them, and hopefully we all can get help everyone capitalize on the different pairs and trades that they're looking for this particular week. Let me see, it's about 3:11, so we're about an hour and 11 minutes in. Before we cut out, I want to see, is there any other do you guys have any other questions? Are there any other pairs or things that you guys would like to see? Are there any videos that you guys would like to see? Like I said, the month of May, I have quite a few videos that I have some that I've already completed that I'll be putting out this week, but I have quite a few videos that I'll be dropping for you guys. One of the things I'm going to drop is 4 strategies I'm going to drop 4 strategies for you guys. That way, for beginners or advanced traders, you can pick any one of those strategies to use to help you guys get entries and things like that. Like, you guys see how I usually approach the market. There'll be a strategy like this. There'll be a break and retest strategy. I'll even put in there a strategy with some indicators. But I'll try to give you guys at least 4 different strategies that you guys can possibly use to incorporate into your styles or however you want to do it. And then from there, you know, if there's anything else you guys want to see, we can go ahead and knock it out. Okay, Rome, I see you want to look at that gold euro. Okay, cool. Let's look at it. Okay, let's look at gold euro, you guys. So as we can see with this particular pair, so we can see we have a high here. Let me make this a little bigger because we can break this pair down really good. We see we have our high here. This is our high point from a daily perspective. We have our low. In this area here. If we take our fibs, throw it on these areas right here, we can see price is still within our area here. Oh yeah, good deal. So in this area right here, we can see that price has come up to actually hit our premium zone here. And then it started to come out, but it actually came back up. So what it might be actually doing, you guys, is giving us a double top. You know, because we see prices dropped off, but we had another, we have a supply zone here that price literally came up to wick this area because there was an imbalance right in this area right here. Let's mark this as a supply zone. All right, let's look at this. We can see that in this area, there was an imbalance right up in this area here. You can see that it didn't come all the way, but it came up close enough to this area. Then from there, we started to drop off, okay? Let's drop to the 4-hour and kind of see what price is doing. So as we can see, price came up to this area. Let's see, okay, we got a drop off. Let's drop to the 1-hour. Let's see exactly what we're looking at as well. Let's see, price came and gave us a retest. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. Check this out. So from an hourly perspective, price was coming up, okay? We had a breaker structure on the 1-hour. Hey Dale, no problem, no problem. So check this out, you guys. We have a 1-hour break of structure, okay? Now from that 1-hour break of structure, let me remove this. From that 1-hour break of structure, if we throw our fibs on it from this perspective, our fibs came up. Let me move this out the way. Our fibs came up because there was an imbalance. Let me hide this for a second. Move this one out the way. Okay. Our fibs came up. We had an imbalance here, but it didn't quite make it all the way up here to this area here, which it still might do. So one of the things we want to look for, price can possibly come up to this imbalance right here. And close this imbalance out. And then we possibly can look for a sell to the downside. But let's go to the 15-minute to kind of see something. So on the 15, we notice that we have, let's see, we have a low, higher high, higher low, higher high, okay? So this is our breakup structure before we start to look to the downside, because my bias is overall that this pair is about to drop. Let's see, 15-minute breakup structure right here. So one of the things I want to see though, I want to see price possibly come back up to this imbalance, close out this imbalance, and then we get a drop off. Because if we can get that, then that will give us a better entry. That'll give us a better entry up in this area right here. And then our potential target is this liquidity area right here at 1761. This is our ultimate target right here. This is what we're looking for, because this is our liquidity area from our breakup structure. So we want to see price come and take out this area here. So I can remove my fibs because, hold on, before I do that, let's notate that price is still currently in our premium zone. Okay, price is still in our premium zone, so we can remove the fibs. So what we're looking for possibly is for price to come up here with this imbalance, take us out, and then possibly come to the downside. However, we do still have a supply zone right here in this entire area, and I'm going to use this supply zone to actually cover this entire area here. So what we can do, you know what I'll do? I'll remove this because price is already up in this area, and I'll utilize this one as our supply zone currently for right now. That way we can condense it, excuse me, and it covers that imbalance as well. So we can see if it can come up and wick this area here. We can set an alert right here. Let me see, gold euro approaching POI. I'm definitely looking at this one this week, you guys, because let me do the pip count on this, because if we catch this trade right up in this area, holy crap, that's 600 pips. That's 600 pips. So I'm definitely looking at this particular pair this week. If we can get that to come up in this area, I'm definitely looking for it. But I also want to see if we get a breakup structure on this 15-minute as well. Because if we get that breakup structure right there, then we can look for the pullback and we can possibly take it. Let me see, XAU Euro 15-minute BOS. So that's what we're looking for this gold euro. Let's look at this from a big picture perspective again. Our overall target, so for right now, on a 4-hour perspective, we can notate this as a 4-hour, well, we just keep it as 1 hour. But yeah, this is our liquidity area, like I said, that we're looking for. So this is our ultimate target. So we can say target down, this area is, I'm gonna say 1761. That's our ultimate target that we're looking for, you guys. Let's see, gold approaching POI. What was that other box that I took off? What's this? Okay. Yeah, we don't really need that other one no more. Let me remove this. I don't need that. But yeah, you guys, this is actually what I'm looking for with this pair. So yeah, that's something we possibly can capitalize on this pair. That's, I mean, 600 pips. I mean, that's huge. That's huge. Like I said, if we catch this, and I'm definitely going to, like, if we get an alert up in this area, I'm definitely going to put that in our Forex pairs channel. Hold Because if we all can catch this, I mean, that's, like I said, that's 600 pips. I mean, that's huge. But yeah, I really like this pair. I like how the setup is on this pair. And that's what we're looking at for this particular pair, you guys. Let's see. Hey Dale, I really appreciate it, man. We just trying to, you know, help everybody we want. The Discord primarily is for everybody to collaborate with each other, you know, and not just see my perspective, but, you know, I'm encouraged to see all of you guys' perspective as well. Because like I said, everybody learn from everybody. I learn from you guys can learn from me, and I just want, you know, everybody to be able to learn from each other. Are you in a trade during news or after? The whiplash is huge sometimes. Yeah, it's huge sometimes. So here's what I'll do. Depending on what type of news is expected, and it'll depend if I'm still in that trade or not. So what I mean by that is, let's just say if I just got in a trade and I'm probably 50 pips in profit, if news is coming up, I'm getting out of that trade. The reason why I said it is because sometimes those news wicks, they could be 100 pips. Them things will shoot all the way up. And like I said, if you're in a trade, let's just say if you put your stop loss in profit, sometimes the whiplash is so huge, it will literally blast through that stop loss and it will still put you in negative. That's why a lot of times with NFP especially, I don't like to be in a trade. Now, let's just say if I'm in a trade and I'm already 200 pips in profit or something like that, I might take partial profits and then I'll leave some on the table and then I'll kind of still put my stop loss in profit. But if I'm under 100 pips on that trade, I'm not staying in that trade. I'm getting out of that trade. I'm not gonna stay in it for NFP news or anything like that, because I already know I've gotten blasted like that before and I've learned from that mistake. I won't do that again. But like I said, if I'm 100 pips in profit, I'll take partials, and then from there I'll put my stop loss well in profit, and I'll kind of monitor it as well. You know what I'm saying? And it just depends. It kind of depends on that moment, but I really don't like to trade. Me personally, I do not like to be in trades before the news hits, especially NFP. Because NFP, just one candle can be 100 pips. But then that particular, you know, it just depends, you know. With gold especially, it can go 200-300 pips during the NFP. And so I just don't like to be in it. And so I'll wait for the dust to settle. Usually a good time would be the 30 or the 1 hour. Once those two candles close, then hey, you know, it's free game after that. You know, I usually look for entries and things like that. But if I've already missed it, then I just say, oh, well, I look at it from a positive perspective and say, I didn't lose no money, you know? And so that's how I kind of look at it. Hey, you guys, I hope that helps. Like I said, this week, I'm going to be dropping some new videos. I'm going to be dropping new videos all this month. Like I said, I have some strategy videos for you guys. I have a couple new things I've been working on that I just want to share with you guys. So like I said, I'll be dropping new videos. And hey, you guys, I hope that we all have a great trading week this week. I'm going to share the potential markups as they come throughout the week with you guys in the Discord. And hopefully we all can eat on some stuff this week. And like I said, you guys are always appreciate it, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Great insight, thank you. Would you consider news to be random, or do you predict it's positive or negative? So it can be both. It can be both, and I say both because let's just say if let's just utilize this for an example. Let's just say let's go to regular gold for a minute. Let's just say we were expecting price to get to this area right here, but let's just say gold was, let me make this bigger. Let's just say our expectancy is for gold to get here, but let's just say gold started coming up and it started playing. just messing around in here. It's coming down here. It's just doing all type of craziness. But then NFP hits, and NFP, let's just say your point of interest was right here. Let's say this was your point of interest. NFP can that news can shoot off, and it would literally one candle shoot price all the way up here. Bam! And then it'll start staircasing down, and that thing will just come down. So that can be a good thing. You know, that can be good in your favor. However, the bad side is, let's just say if price came down here, you got in a trade right here, your stop loss was, let's say right here, and you say, yeah, I'm riding it up here. But let's just say you were in this trade, you know, you was in this trade, you happy, everything going good, NFP hit, and NFP see this imbalance, but you're not really thinking about that imbalance because you like, yeah, price is gone, it done passed the premium zone, but you still got this imbalance that's not fulfilled. NFP will shoot down here, hit that imbalance, bam, and it'll wick liquidity and take you out, and then price will continue in its intended direction. And now you're frustrated and you like, man, the market is against me. And it happens like that. And usually when these type of things happen, there's some form of Wyckoff that goes on. Whereas there's an imbalance or something like that, some Wyckoff have happened, and then there's a spring right here that usually news is what triggers that spring. It'll shoot down, hit it, bam, and then it'll go up. It'll give you an opportunity for entry, which would be like right here, it'll give a test. And then it'll shoot up in its intended direction. So for example, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Let's look at Wyckoff for a second. If we looked at this right here, an accumulation pattern. So let's just say you see price starts to consolidate. It's giving these things, but let's just say initially you took an entry like right here. Let's say you took an entry here. Price is going up in your favor, you're happy, you got your stop loss right up under this area right here, because that's usually how it happens. You got your stop loss under this area, you're happy, price is staircasing up, and then that news hit and it shoots down, gives that spring, bam, takes you out because your stop loss was right here, and then it gives another opportunity for entry, but then it starts to staircase and it goes to the area in which you thought it was going to go to anyway. And it happens like that. So that's why Wyckoff is so important, because there are certain parameters within Wyckoff that, you know, as a normal retail trader, you know, they're not looking at this. They're just looking at the fact that they caught an entry here, stop loss under the last swing low, and then they're going up. However, if you're not noticing and there's Wyckoff that's present, you know, these parameters have to play out. And so when that spring comes, it'll stop you out, and then it'll go in its intended direction. It'll do that same thing when it's a distribution as well. Like for example, distribution goes to the downside. So for example, let's just say you end up catching a trade somewhere up in here, put your stop loss above this or above this area, and then price is coming down, news hit, you get a U tag, and then it goes down in its intended direction. So that's why Wyckoff is really important, because it helps you see the market from the lens of the bank. It helps you see it from the bank's lens and not just the retail perspective, a retail trader perspective. So I hope that makes sense, Mr. Blessed. I hope that makes sense. When I say it can be both, it can be a positive and a negative. It just depends on what side, you know, of the news that you're on. You know, it can push up to the area which you want it to be. Like, let's just say if you're in a trade and you saying, hey, this is my TP, and you're in a trade, news can hit, that thing a blast to your TP. Hey, you A1, you good. It didn't give you what you want, you know, but you just got to be mindful, because the news, it can happen either way. And when news is going to happen, I try to look at it from a bank perspective to kind of see, is there Wyckoff present? Is it present? What areas can possibly come to fill price? It was a gold trade that I caught like that a while ago. It was a long time ago. I think I did a video on it, whereas Wyckoff came down and it literally wicked that area. I caught a trade on the test area, and that video was actually in YouTube. I'll show you guys. So if some of you guys haven't seen that video, I'll just show you what I'm talking about. But it explains exactly, because that was an NFP day actually. It was, which video was it? I believe it was this one here. Yeah, accumulation move on gold. This was an NFP day on this one here. And it literally happened exactly like that. Like NFP happened, it shot down. I didn't get in it, but I waited for this to play out from an accumulation perspective. I waited for the test, and then I rolled price right up to the resistance lines, and it was a huge trade. And so that's one of the things I would definitely say be mindful of when it comes to news, just because, like I said, news can it can be unforgiving. It can blow your account, and it can really be bad. So I really just say, just be patient with news. If you're not in trades already, or if you're in trades that's not over 100 pips, I say get out of it, because it can go either way. All right. Hey, you guys, it was great rocking with y'all. I'm glad y'all rock with me today. Let's see some good profits in the market this week. Hey, I'll holler at y'all.